We're here today on Country Pocket with Lou Dominguez. He's got a great new album, and you just heard one of the songs off it called For Steve Earle. Um, so many systems around us seem to be failing us these days. Is modern folk music failing us?
It's a good question. I think I've been I've been doing political songs since 2008, and I've been uh pushing that agenda. And in that time, Barack Obama became the president of the United States, and I thought that maybe we were done with this. Clearly, we are not. And so I've continued to do it. Um, it's for me, and I'm not speaking to your audience because I don't know your audience completely, but to me, it seems like we've taken a step backwards, and and maybe we need to try and re-engage and push things forward. And when I say forward, I mean to a place that is where we were going, which started with the New Deal. Yeah.
Just yeah, that's certainly the political situation, but the situation in folk music or music just in general, the fact that we've left that world where some of the top artists are willing to put out songs with messages, is that the artists? Is that the algorithms? Is that modern radio?
I think you
Going
said
on?
the perfect word that you said was the algorithms. I think that so much. Look, I'm a huge baseball fan, and the idea of the manager having a feeling about something has just gone away. It becomes about the numbers and the computers, and I'm not a fan of that. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I think that there's somewhere where you can come together and do a combination of those things. But no, I think you're exactly right. I think companies are companies, and companies are in business to do money and to make money. And they're less concerned with people's feelings and more concerned with what's going to make them money. That's the truth, I think.
Yeah, I personally don't think that there's an absence of great political folk coming into the universe. I just think there's an absence of it getting promoted properly and given a fair shake along with a song that has no lyrics outside of trucks and jeans or dance the night away or something like that. It
No,
just feels like uh
to- I totally agree with you. I would say I actually did a on my new CD a version of Tracy Chapman's "Talking About a Revolution."
that was the
And
next
by,
question.
by the way, I started this 2 years ago, and then when somebody told me she had a country hit a year ago with a song, I was like, "Oh my God, what's the song?" Because I was petrified. And they said, "Oh no, it was the car song, Fast Car." Yeah, it was Fast Car, no big deal. And I was like, "Oh my God," because I spent so much time making making this version about talking about revolution, so it was a different song. But anyway, it got played a lot on the folk DJ uh, stations. I'm down here in Miami, WLRN, Michael Stock has always been a huge supporter of my work. But like there are these stations all over the country, so they played like they really reacted to it and played it, and so that just makes me think. And I actually rewrote one of the verses for more modern times, and I think that it hit a note. I do. Like, it wasn't, look, I'm not pretending it was a huge hit like that it wasn't, but at the same time, it got a lot of, it got a lot of play.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask is what was the pressure that you were feeling when I mean, I don't know if there are many acts quite as bold as writing a new verse to a Tracy Chapman song. What were you feeling when you were doing that?
I felt like that song was written in the 80s, and we are almost 40 years from there now. And I felt like there are new issues. So it wasn't me being emboldened to think I can write something better than Tracy Chapman at all. Like, that's not what was going on in my head. What was going on in my head is there's been some stuff going on, and maybe putting that into the song will make it more interesting. That's it.
Yeah, I would say I would say I was definitely it caught my attention big that hearing the revolution we'd want to have now was just not what I was expecting when I heard the cover and when I started to hear the things my generation was going through. I was like, all right, all right.
Yeah, I honestly, like, it's no disrespect in any way, shape, or form. What I thought was she wrote this when I was like 20 years old, and now I'm 54 years old, and I believe the spirit of it is the important thing. That's why I think it's such a great song. It's because it's such a great song because it lasts. There's not a lot of songs like that. Um, Bob Dylan's Masters of War like lasts forever. Like it just, and that's the genius of him. In her same respect, I think she hit upon an idea, and I think it was perfect. And I think I just wanted to bring it into our time. That's all.
All right, I respect it. I respect it. You talk about loving your country on the album. Um, I feel as though maybe I'm at a low point in my love affair with America right now. Tell me about
That's
still loving your country despite everything you see going on.
that's a very fair subject to bring up. Um, America, and you know who said this? Bono said this. America is an idea. And I'm sure other people have said this, but he articulated it at a concert. And he said, America is an idea, and no other country has ever been established on the fact that it's just an idea. So given that premise and given what we are looking at, and I don't think what we're looking at is very good at all. I don't, but I do try to hang on to the idea that this is an idea and we're working through it. That's I Do I think it's going to be a great 2 years? No, I don't. But the you know I hope for the best.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, let's uh let's talk about, I guess, why we got into this situation. Because it's more than just people who voted for the first black president suddenly deciding that they're racist. Um, it is the failure of a lot of things. And you wrote a song called The United States of Debt that I think talks about some of those failures. Um, is the notion that you work hard to get ahead or you go get a good education and then work hard to get ahead, is that notion slipping away? And is that, I feel like if that's falling to the wayside, then people might be more willing to act stupidly to
Yeah,
get back on track.
I don't disagree with anything that you just said. What I would say is that for I don't know how old you are. I'm 54 years old. Um, I have lived in a country where the belief was everything that you just said, that if you work hard, if you study hard, and if you go for what you want, you can get it. And that has been true, like up until now. And now it seems to be slipping away. And with this past election and with the things that are being promised, I don't I almost don't want to use the word promised, but like that's it's not going to get better. And so what I would say is there's two ways of looking at it, is what I would say. So United States of debt, yeah, like I think like most Americans, we put stuff on credit and we try to keep up with it, all right? And then I think a lot of people can keep up with it, but the story to me is if we don't change things at the top, we won't change things for everyday Americans. And what I mean by that is, look, we know that we spend way too much on military. We know we spend way too much on other things, but everybody seems to be looking at smaller things that are not that don't expend as much money. And maybe we should take a look at that. But I don't think that the upcoming administration is going to be of that view. That's it.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is just disillusionment and feeling as though promises have not been kept. And uh, we're in a system that, as foreign as it may seem to anyone who grew up post World War II,
Hmm.
I feel like you nailed it when you said we're the world's largest company store. For those who don't know what you're talking about, explain what system we have entered.
I'm just saying in that line. Look, I'm a big fan of music in general, so I know a great lyric when I hear it, and that's the way I explain it. I don't know how to find a great lyric, but I know a great lyric when I hear it. And The world's biggest like, you know, the song is geez, sorry, it's basically the song says, you know, the world's biggest company store is the United States of debt, and it's from years ago, and I kind of try to bring it back, and I'm just saying like it's worse now than it was then, and so it's it is it was a problem then, and it's a worse problem now. That's what I would say.
What is a company store?
Company store is people used to work in fields and in places where they would have to work and then pay to eat and sleep and drink and whatever. Um, and then they would end the week and they would owe the store the money. Like, and that was normal many years ago. And obviously we kind of got away from that, but it seems to be like we just have another version of that. That's what I would say. We have another version of it. It's you still owe the company store at the end of the week. You just owe it on your credit card. You don't owe it on just paying it at the end of the week.
Yeah, I love when someone can take a classic folk lyric or song and update it to the now.
It, it's not that different. It really isn't. Not now. I'm not saying. I want to be clear that I'm not saying that we don't have it better because I believe we do, but we still have a very long way to go, and we shouldn't give up the fight. That's what I would say.
All right, let's hear the United States of Debt, and we'll be right back with Lou Dominguez.
Thank you.